What's going on with the American economy? Foreclosures are everywhere, unemployment is skyrocketing, and it looks like this may only be the beginning. As a result, most Americans fear that our cherished basic freedoms and way of life are under direct attack as our standard of living sinks like a stone. But could it be that all these problems were foreseen 100 years ago by L. Frank Baum, the author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz? Why is this just coming out? Because when the MGM movie The Wizard of Oz was made in 1939, significant changes were made from L. Frank Baum's original book version written 40 years earlier in 1899.
In the book version of The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's slippers are made of silver, as opposed to in the film version where Dorothy's slippers are made of ruby. You take away the silver slippers on the gold or yellow brick road, and all of the other symbolism tends to be lost.
Now let's see what the experts say about our current problem, then look at our history so we can understand what L. Frank Baum was trying to say in his book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Well, it's no secret to any American that we're living in very precarious times. Americans are being robbed blind, and they don't even know who's doing the robbing.
I mean, we clearly are, in a bus and we're heading for the edge of a cliff. And there still is probably time to change course. The only problem is the people driving the bus don't realize that there's a cliff there yet.
If we combine an end to special interest lobbying with some truth-telling in Washington, there's nothing we can't do. We can stop talking about solving this health care crisis and actually start doing something about it. I've proposed a bill that says if you already have health insurance, we are going to lower your premiums by $2,500 a year. If you don't have health insurance, then we are going to make sure that you can buy health insurance that is as good as the health care I have as a member of Congress.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick road. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is a wizard, a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Nobody will be excluded for pre-existing conditions. We will negotiate with the drug companies for the cheapest available price on drugs. We will invest in prevention. That shade feels good. We will invest in prevention so that we are having people getting regular checkups and screenings instead of going to the emergency room for treatable illnesses. And we won't wait 20 years from now to do this or 10 years from now to do this. We will do it by the end of my first term as President of the United States of America.
That you dare to dream really do come true.
But first, my open. It's a system that's supposed to be used by everybody, so that Obamacare can be bought by anybody. But so far, the healthcare website has worked for practically nobody. Welcome to the land of Oz. And now we find out the people who are supposed to guide us through the Obamacare maze and enter our private data, Social Security numbers, date of birth, and personal identifiable information, the Obamacare navigators, don't even go through basic background or fingerprint checks. But it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. If those navigators have a prior conviction, it will not disqualify them anyway. An outstanding warrant? No problem. In the midst of a bankruptcy? No problem. Now, forget the obvious piracy issues. Has anyone in Washington ever heard of identity theft? But then again, why would we be shocked to learn there's no screening by these Washington bozos? You remember Edward Snowden, the NSA leaker, and the Navy Yard shooter? They obviously were not properly screened. So why is it that a key part of the president's signature legislation, for which Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius had more than 3 years to prepare, can't even get the website off the ground? And the administration refuses to tell us how many people have signed up for Obamacare. The reason is they don't know. And the reason they don't know is because no one can get past the first page.
Oh, which is more than you will. Drat you and your dog. You've been more trouble to me than you're worth, one way and another. But it'll soon be over now. You see that? That's how much longer you've got to be alive. And it isn't long, my pretty. It isn't long. I can't wait forever to get those shoes.
Eddie, don't go away. I'm frightened. Come back. Come back.
Yes, come back. I'll give you a hand, my pretty.
Simple Sebelius says she doesn't know how many people have signed up, but she does know it's getting better.
It started a little rockier than we'd like. It's better today than it was yesterday, and it will keep getting better.
Really? It's getting better? How would you know? And not to worry, she says, 85% of us already have health care, and it's only 15% of us who need to worry about this. Now, let me see if I understand this. We have spent $400 million on a system based on a 10-year-old technology that will need to be overhauled from a company from Canada with a French name who, by the way, double their profits in 1 quarter so that none of us can sign up for this miraculous health care which so many of us need. And now, our kids, our healthy kids who don't want health care and can't afford health care, have to buy it in order to finance the whole thing. Now, initially, the administration said this burden on our children would not be used to pay for health care for illegal aliens. Well, that's a bunch of hogwash. You open the National Mall for them to protest in the middle of a shutdown when our veterans can't even access their memorial, and you give them transgender hormones while they're in prison, and we spend $2 billion a year on a program that provides hospital emergency care mostly to illegals, and you really want me to believe that my kids are not going to be paying for those undocumented workers who you want to give amnesty to in a minute anyway. So why can't the administration tell us how many people have signed on?
Across the country, people are getting health insurance. Although the glitches are unacceptable, so is the idea of leaving millions of Americans on their own, including families across the country who now have access to health care that they did not have 2 weeks ago.
Going so soon? I wouldn't hear of it. Why, my little party's just beginning.
Trap like mice, rats.
it a little fur.
A pocket full of spheres. Got you be pretty foxy, didn't you? Well, the last to go will see the first three go before her. And her mangy little dog, too. How about a little fire, Scarecrow? No!
You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, look out! Look out! I'm going!
Really? What does a glitch mean? A glitch is when your cable goes out for a few seconds. This isn't just a glitch, a dismal failure, it's a damn disaster. And Jay Carney saying families have access to health care? How the hell are they supposed to access it? And you say the reason for the glitch is that the number of website visitors is extremely high, that more states are lining up than you expected. What, you didn't know how many states there are in this country? And you know what I think the heart of all this is? It's all about money. A company called CGI, the one from Canada, you know, with the French name that I can't even pronounce, won the contract to set up the Obamacare website in October of 2011. The same company fired by the Canadian government for failing to build an online medical registry on time. And our Government Accountability Office in June predicted that the website would not be ready to go live. You remember the General Accountability Office? They're the ones who predicted the bankruptcy of Solyndra, the green energy company that we gave $500 million of our taxpayers' dollars to that went bust, just as GAO predicted. So my question, a simple one, why not use a smart, successful American company like Apple, Microsoft, Google, one with a record of success? And why is it that the biggest Obamacare contractor didn't start writing the software code until a few months ago? What does this woman, Simple Sebelius, do other than go on Jon Stewart? You and I would be fired for such incompetence.
You're fired!
But I didn't.
Get out!
Ron, I've got to fire you. Well, I've got to fire you. Bing, bong, bong. You're fired, Ed.
We're going to punish our enemies, and we're going to reward our friends who stand with us on issues that are important to us.